If you can dream it, it can become your reality. Welcome to Dream Catchers, where we meet entrepreneurs who have left their home country to move to Costa Rica and start a business in paradise. These are real people and their real stories behind following their dreams to a little Central American paradise and how they made it work despite the odds. Welcome to Dream Catchers Costa Rica.
Hi everybody, I'm Rebecca Clower and welcome to another amazing episode of Dream Catchers. We are here in beautiful Playa Tamarindo at the Red Door restaurant, and we are going to be interviewing Cam Samurek, who is owners along with Ziana Buteau of this amazing establishment. Located directly on the beach with amazing sunsets year-round, this is truly a one-of-a-kind location. Hi everyone, I'm Rebecca Clower and we are here with another episode of Dream Catchers. Today we are here with Jen Samurek with Red Door. He also is the owner of several other amazing restaurants, which we'll be talking about. We're here in beautiful Playa Tamarindo today, and I have the privilege of speaking with him in person, and we'll be talking about why and what brought you to Costa Rica. So thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure.
So obviously everyone's very first question will be, why Costa Rica and why did you decide to come here?
Well, why Costa Rica? I actually came for business. I used to work for a hotel company. I got transferred, and when I came, I fell in love with the whole Pura Vida thing, the nature, the animals, the wildlife, and then it's like, wow, this is something really different than what I'm used to. And I went back and I considered, and then I was like, okay, maybe I should go back to Costa Rica again. So that's how I ended up.
So then your first visit was work-related?
Yeah, both times actually was work-related. I got transferred here, but I chose my transfer to Costa Rica.
Okay. And can you explain a little bit about what you
sure.
were doing before?
Well, I used to work for Four Seasons,
okay.
And as a food and beverage manager. And first time I came, it was the management trainee for the opening of Four Seasons. And then I did 6 months, and then I got transferred to Hawaii. I lived in Hawaii in Lanai for 2.5 years, and then from there I had choices to go places, and I wanted to come back to Costa Rica. And
so you landed here?
2008 in October.
So obviously Tamarindo is not your first location, we just happen to be here today. Do you want to tell a little bit about the transition and progression, let's say, of when you first purchased or started your first restaurant to what you have now?
Well, I lived in Coco, Playas del Coco, for 8 years. During that time, I had a little Asian restaurant in Coco. That was my first adventure. And then from there on, I expanded to Liberia with my current partner in Red Door, with Sienna. We did Liberia Social. From there on, I had Playa Panama, Hacienda Blue.
Okay.
Recently, I have the Peninsula Steak and Seafood Grill in Playa Panama as well. And then after Hacienda Blue, we had the Red Door here in Tamarindo, which we always wanted to do, Tamarindo. Yeah.
And it seems like your backdrops are all beachfront for the most part, or ocean view, correct?
Totally.
Is that your concept for every restaurant that you do?
Well, from now on, I would love to have that. Keep it that way, because it's not easy, of course, to be this lucky to finish it under the palm trees.
Hearing the waves.
Hearing the waves.
You hear the waves.
But that's the goal, of course, because it makes everything so much nicer and beautiful.
Of course. I mean, who doesn't want to be right on the ocean, right?
That's why we're in Costa Rica.
So one question I have also is, had you visited Costa Rica before you decided to move here permanently?
Yeah, 2006, I had the 6 months that I had my little trips, and I did the Costa Rica tour, which I fell in love with in every part of it. Every part is so distinct in a way. And then, that's how I decided to come back in 2008.
So we talked, and you told me that you're from Turkey originally.
Yes.
Do you think that culturally it was easy for you or difficult to kind of come into the Pura Vida lifestyle? Because we all know the challenges sometimes that can bring
also. It is. What helped me most is actually it is difficult, no matter where you come from.
Yeah.
because it's the the mentality is different. Then we always talk about this Pura Vida style is very different.
Yes.
But I always come with that open-mindedness that if you go to a place, they don't have to adopt me, I have to adopt the culture. So with that mindset,
That's a good point.
Yeah, like I'm here. Here is the Pura Vida, and that's why we are here for this Pura Vida. So I cannot expect the things to get things done. Maybe that's a big challenge for us. Like when we come from a big city, we're like chop chop chop, let's go, and then that's not happening here. So
No, it's not happening here.
no matter
that's
how
for sure.
stressed you are, so you learn the way they go and the way they do things, and then everything goes the way it's supposed to. I think that's
Excellent.
I take it that way.
Excellent. So my other question is, what is the inspiration behind the restaurants that you've opened here in Costa Rica?
Well, my background is all food and beverage. Now I can say like proudly 26 years of food and beverage experience for my age. I started very early. Always studied in hospitality and always wanted to do this. This is my passion. Coming from a family background, we do also like never in restaurant business, but like the food wise, I grew up in a family that heavy on food. We do everything in the house. We make our bread, yogurt, everything.
Wow.
Like production. My father makes his own 4 different jams, and my mom makes her own 4 different jams, and we have 8 different kind of jams in the table. And
That's
like
awesome.
eating is eating.
So
is
it was
a
part of
pleasure.
your culture.
Totally,
really.
yeah, totally. Yeah. Very into food, and I believe in the force of the food, like how we can connect with around the table. It makes it made me more passionate about the food and beverage, and then of course me traveling around the world, working with really nice chefs, really nice restaurants. I think I had made me come to this point that I have this all combination of tastes and ingredients and ambiances that I worked
In
and
different places in the world.
yeah.
And then in terms of, you just mentioned that you had trained with different restaurants and whatnot. So your background was more being a chef?
Never been a chef, to be honest. Everybody
Okay.
thinks that I'm a chef.
That's the question I wanted to ask, because a lot of people just
Yeah.
assume, oh, you have to be a chef to have a successful business. So we know that's not true.
No.
But if you
yeah.
know how to run one, and
Totally.
you can find a good chef.
Exactly.
There you
Yeah,
go.
which I'm always gifted enough to work with a really nice team. I always find someone, or they find me, I find them. I always find myself very gifted on that. I do have really good chefs. Practically, we're all workmates from our old hotel, Four Seasons.
Oh, that's great. So you knew them before
Yeah,
you brought them in.
we've been working together for a while, so we're all kind of a team of expatriates of Four Seasons.
Did you find it hard to find the right chefs, or do you think that you were kind of lucky? Because most people that come here and open restaurants, they're not as lucky as you. They don't
Totally.
fall into, being
It's-
able to have all this skilled workforce from day one.
It's very difficult, and it's even more difficult right now with all this movement going on in Costa Rica. It's booming. There's a lot of nice hotels, nice restaurants, everything's coming. We're talking about a country that has 5 million population, mostly dance on San Jose side.
Sure.
So Guanacaste is kind of at the moment not that bad at the moment, but it's going to be, if we don't do something like soon, we might have to struggle a little bit of getting the right people, or I want to do this kind of a restaurant, but it's not only just your imaging or making it happen. Do you have that people to be able to cook like that? Do you have
Exactly.
to give that environment, ambience? It's a teamwork at the end of the day. No
Where are
matter
your
what.
chefs coming from? Where are they from originally?
One of them is Ecuadorian.
Okay.
Yeah, been here for many years, and the other one is Costa Rican. Both of them are actually from Costa Rica, but yeah, many years they worked in the hotel industry, and lastly they were in Four Seasons.
Excellent.
with-
Can you tell us, or the viewers, a little bit about what your restaurants offer and how they differ?
Sure. Well, in all the outlets we have, like the reason, even the first time that I wanted to open up a restaurant, it came to my mind that coming from we're talking about 14 years ago, there was not many choices. And coming from a big city or anything, that was my biggest missing, to be honest, in my life, that I couldn't go dine around. Like in my day off, I wanted to go have somewhere and dine and feel like I'm dining in a nice restaurant.
Option.
Yeah, we didn't have that option. So that's how it started.
And that was in Coco.
That was in Coco.
Yeah,
that was in Coco. And then we moved to Liberia. And the goal is always like, and I hear this quite often, which makes me really happy when I hear it. People comes into this Red Door, Hacienda Blue, wherever, and it's like, oh, I felt like I was in somewhere, like Sao Paulo, Chicago. You know, they always find something in the restaurant that they, you know, where they belong to. This could be with the food relation, this could be with the ambience, this could be with the music, whatever that is. But they always find something that they're related. Which makes me very happy in that sense, because okay, we provide that, you know, that's what we want to do.
So we're here at Red Door, obviously, and you had mentioned to me that most of your restaurants are international.
International cuisine.
Do you think they differ a little bit, or is there one restaurant that might be a little bit different than the other than the new?
Totally. The menus are not same. International, but menus are not identical same. They're all different in a way. We always, you know, look at what we do. When we came here with Sienna, we really like get into the garden. We felt the place, what we want to do. There was a story behind it to how the Red Door became. We wanted to do the Red Door when we were doing the Liberia Social. We were checking out the antique store, and she showed me a door like Red Door, and it's like, hey John, think about this door. You painted red, and it's, you know, put it in a
and that's how you
Tamarindo.
Came up with the name. Yeah.
Yeah. She came up with the name, and then I'm like, oh, I totally can see that happening. And then 5 years later, we were lucky enough to land at this place with the Red Door.
That's great.
Yeah.
And so obviously I've been to all of your restaurants except the new one, which I'll be getting to. They're all excellent. Please. So I can vouch for the food. It's amazing. So you need to check it out. You know, my other question to you is, how do you come upon choosing the locations? Like, why did you decide Tamarindo? Why did you decide Playa Panama? Do you feel like you have a different market in Liberia versus being here in Tamarindo or Coco?
Well, totally. Tamarindo is very dynamic. We always had the eyes on it, but you know, it's back in the days. Let's say that 5-6 years ago. We would have the high season, and everybody has their spot making their restaurants. And when then the low season comes in, most of the places will be like, you know, shuts down for the low season and then gets back on in the high season. So we were always chasing the spots, and then Tamarindo, as you know, is always dynamic. But we start having no low season, and the businesses were prolonging more, and they weren't closing for low season. So we didn't have a spot for many years. Sienna would be like going hunting, like, there's a spot here, you want to go check, let's go spot here.
It's challenging.
It's very challenging.
It's challenging. It's actually one of the reasons I purchased my office, because it's like you couldn't find anywhere to land, and I think that's one of the major issues that we have at the beach. Could you tell us what your hours of operation are? Are you only open for dinner?
No, we're open for lunch and dinners. Most of the locations. Actually, we want to do breakfast here at one point too, because beautiful setting.
And plus,
for a
you
morning.
have the hotel area.
Yeah, exactly. So we open, I think, 7 days a week, starting at 12 p.m. on until 10 to 11, depends on the season.
And then you're closed on Monday?
No, we don't close on Monday.
Okay,
We're open
7 days a week. Excellent, even better.
Yeah.
So, what have been your biggest challenges here? Things that maybe you weren't expecting that other people that want to start businesses here might want to know?
Yeah, for business-wise, you're definitely gonna struggle with the bureaucracy. Yeah. It's very different.
There's a lot of red
and
tape.
again, it's all about the mental game that you have to put that on your list, that you're gonna struggle with this, and we expect to struggle with that. And if you do that, you don't struggle as much because you expect that.
How about your patente?
But yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, if you would go to anywhere else, not anywhere else, I'm sure not all the world is working, but let's say that well-functioning cities you're coming from, you go to a municipal, I don't know, say it in English.
Yeah, municipality.
Municipality, and then they would tell you, okay, I want to open up a restaurant. What is the requirements? This. If you fulfill this, we're gonna give you the patente. And what happens here is mostly you go, you get that paper and then you fill up those things and then you go and then, oh, I need this, oh, I need that, and then it keeps going for a while and I'm like, why don't you tell me this from the beginning so
because that would make too much sense.
I can get it ready.
That's never happened to us. Never happened to me. No.
So no,
the list is just like a general list.
General list,
yes.
and then the details comes in later on.
Exactly.
Those are the small things, but if you
all part of the Pura Vida.
Yeah, it's part of the Pura Vida, totally. Yeah, and you got to go with it, and then after that, I mean, the last one I opened, I really didn't feel like I struggled at all. Like it was so smooth, super nice. So. Yeah.
Do you think that speaking Spanish helps in Costa Rica? And I was going to ask if you speak Spanish.
I do speak Spanish, but I'm like, I cannot say that for 14 years. I cannot still, embarrassingly, it's not my native language. I mean, I couldn't make that happen.
How many languages do you speak?
Turkish, English, and Spanish. But even say being a Turkish, English is now, after all those years that I've been living, is that kind of my native language that I can, relate more. But yeah, Spanish didn't happen that way because I think is that my Turkish is very different. The sentences are all upside down, and I never can get to that, fluency.
Do you feel that there's enough people though to help you with everything that you don't really need? That Spanish isn't pivotal, let's say, in helping you get your business going.
I always same believe on that too. Like wherever you go, you really, of course, language speaking is gonna get you advanced in many things and very faster. But if you wanna communicate with people, you can always communicate with so many ways. Body language, things, and people always want to help. Yeah, there's ways, and this country is never like it. People are super happy on that. Like they would like to talk to you, they would like to communicate with you. So it's never I've heard anyone complaining about communication here.
For sure. Despite the challenges, are you happy that you've come this far and started all the restaurants that you have?
Well, yeah, it took me a while to get that satisfaction or saying that I'm super happy to be here. Well, actually, the two things that made me realize the most is I came here, 2008 crisis hit, the day I landed this country. And then the pandemic, the same thing, and those two big world things the events, I was like saying, oh, I'm so glad that I was in Costa Rica. I live in Costa Rica.
A lot of people said that same thing, that they prefer to be here versus other places in the world. So I think that's really positive.
Totally.
So you told us obviously about your background already. Can you tell me a little bit about your family and how, you talked about how they inspired you in the cooking and whatnot.
Well, my father comes from a big family. He's a army retired. He did some airline, he's been in airline business too, kind of a pilot. And then my mother is a housewife. I have two sisters, both are also in the hospitality somehow. She's in the airline side. My sister on the other side is the human resources for hospitality hotels.
Have they visited you?
Sisters, no.
No?
My mom and dad, yes. But it's super long flight for them.
For sure.
Yeah. So
they have to come and check out the Pura Vida.
Definitely. My father was here 3 months ago. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, she did.
So in terms of, obviously we all work a lot.
Yeah.
What do you do when you're not working? What do you do for fun?
I work more.
Don't tell people that.
Yeah,
they all
know,
think we come here and we do nothing. So.
No, I mean, it's the best part of Costa Rica is that even if you're working in your daily thing, I'm lucky enough that I'm in a beachfront location that I can stop for 10 minutes and watch that sunset, resets you so good. That's why I love here, and I think we have great, one of the best sunsets.
Absolutely.
For sure around the world. So, I like to go to the beach, of course. If I have time to go to kayak and cycling, usually lately it doesn't happen quite often. Mostly, sportive activities or nature. Yeah, I like to go little trips to volcanoes and
I do too.
Those
we have a pretty amazing
vacation
and
vacation. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Vacation. So, do you have a vision for any more future, progression with your restaurants? Do you want to open more restaurants?
I think so. I think it will happen. If it's all about if I get a nice location that if I feel the vibe, I would like to pursue. And I would like to do this in like international, like if I would like to open some other place in the outside the country. So we'll see what life brings, but yeah, I would like to expand a little bit more.
Do you have any ideas? Do you have your eye on any particular locations here in Costa Rica?
Well, at the moment, I'm like keeping myself on this side, Peninsula Papagayo area, Tamarindo. At one point, I would like to do one in San Jose. Yeah.
There's a big food scene.
Big food scene. It's becoming really nice.
Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't like that, and it's been super nice now.
It's
it makes me want to go like just for the food scene.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So another question for you is, how do you find, since you've been here since 2008, you've seen a lot, just like myself.
Yeah.
How do you feel it's changed, positive or negative, in these years?
Even the negative things are kind of a positive things for us. Like like it's expanding. Like you see,
For sure.
you see it's growing pretty nice. You can tell the difference. 14 years ago, yeah, me going to San Jose, I could drop like three tires in one trip. Now we have nice roads, and it's getting there.
Yeah.
With that, even 14 years ago, if I had a restaurant, would it be this? Would I have a menu like this variety with this variety? I don't think so, because we didn't have that much import. It was
the
very
difficulty of getting ingredients.
Ingredients
Right.
was super hard. The produce is here, super nice, fresh. But yeah, rest of the spices and all that stuff that we need to have, it was a struggle.
It's kind of important.
So it's been a really nice. We're evolving, I think, in a nice way. Everything's getting together nicely, infrastructure-wise, stores, the things that we need. Of course, that's going to bring the population, which I think a lot of people want to come here.
Absolutely.
We have to, I think, maintain it in a way that grow healthy and not just like drop the bomb wise, but just like respecting the nature, keeping it nicely. So we have this ecosystem continues. So that's the reason that we're here is for that. So.
I don't know if there's anything else. I think we covered most topics, but if there's anything else you want to talk about or let people know about your restaurants, and hopefully they'll come by and check you out in person.
Well, everyone is always welcome to our restaurants. We're trying to give, of course, like our best to create these ambiances and good food, and hopefully if someone finds always something from their site and feels like they're enjoying this.
Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate speaking with Jen today. And of course, be sure to visit one of his 3 amazing restaurants, the Red Door, Hacienda Blue, and your new one, the Peninsula, CR. So definitely thank you for joining us on this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. Definitely tune into our next episode. Give us a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Pura Vida.
Pura Vida, thank you.